Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a super affordable makeup tutorial on the look I'm currently wearing. This makeup look was achieved using two brands which were Freedom and MUA. If you guys haven't tried them out, I highly recommend them. I'm so impressed with the products I've got on my face right now, but if you'd like to see like my first impressions and how I achieved this makeup look, then just keep watching. So before I get started, I want to make a few side notes. Firstly, my eyebrows, they're divorcing each other. They're not wanting to look at all alike, so we'll ignore the brows. And my hair is just doing the same, it's just not wanting to cooperate today. So let's just ignore the brows and the hair and we'll move on. But anyway, let's get on to the tutorial because that is what you are all here for. Well, I presume. Unless you're just here to see my beautiful face and then I'll forgive you. So some of you might not know, but I'm actually a student, so I like to keep everything super duper affordable. And especially for those trying out makeup, I feel like you don't need to buy the most expensive products. I feel like the drugstore, since I was young, which I'm still young, but since I was like 14, 15, has stepped up its game massively. And I feel like you can get just as good products from the drugstore as you can high-end. So this is kind of going to have a few dupes in it as well, what they're dupes for. But anyway, let's get on to testing some of the new products. So I'll leave a link to my latest video above, and it was how to contour and highlight. And I used these two pans. Now these are the Freedom contour pans in 03 and 04. And these are literally £3 each. They are so affordable, but honestly, they are incredible if you're going for like a really natural, everyday like contour. So first off, I take my contour pan in 03 and my Morphe, this is the M143. And then to further deepen up that contour, I take the shade 04 and then I just add that on top. So that is my contour finish. So as you can see, it's just really subtle, really natural. It just makes you look like you've got chiseled cheekbones with minimal effort, which is what I really like in makeup. So if you do want to know all my tips and tricks on how to contour, then make sure you click that video and it'll also be linked down below so you can watch it at the end. The next product I'm going to take is super affordable and I've not actually used it before, and this is the MUA blusher in Cupcake. This is the most stunning pinky nude shade and I think it's so beautiful. But I mean, the swatch of it looks really pretty, so I think it'll look really nice on the cheeks. And that pigmentation with one swipe for a product that's £1, that's amazing. Amazeballs! So I'm just going to take this on a Zoeva 127. Wow, that is pigmented. Okay. Not like I didn't already know that from the swatch, but... So I'm just going to tap a bit on the back of my hand to get rid of the excess product, and then I'm just going to apply some blush. It's the apples of my cheeks, all along my cheekbones. Oh, I really like that colour actually. I'm even going to put a bit more on. Woo! Pushing the boat out today, Sammy. I know, just for you guys. So next off for highlight, I'm going to take the palette we're also going to use on our eyes, and it's the MUA 6 shade palette in Rusted Wonders. I really like that name. This is very similar packaging to NYX, which their eyeshadow palettes are like £18. But I think they have 9 shadows in, not 6. But this palette was £3. And again, if this is a gem, then thank me later. And I'm going to take this white here for a highlight. Now, ooh, first swatch. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed with that. That's amazing. So considering the shade is literally, these shades are 50p each, that has actually got some great pigmentation. And to apply the highlight, I'm going to take the Morphe M501. Right, so it doesn't look like it picks up that much product, but we will see. Oh no, that is really pretty. Okay, now I'm a massive fan. It's reminded me quite a lot of the Mary Luminizer. To blend all that together, because we don't want to look like a Neapolitan ice cream, I'm going to take my Real Technique blush brush. This has no product on, but I'm literally just going to swirl it all together. I'm really happy with actually how that like base turned out. I really like that. For eyes, I'm going to use our 2 contour shades as our transition colours. We know they work well with our skin tones, so we might as well. So first off, I'm going to take the contour shade 03 and use that on a Morphe E27 brush. So I thought I'd come a little bit closer so it's easier for you guys to see. Right, so on the E27 brush, I'm just going to take the first contour shade slightly above my crease. As you know, I have hooded eyes, so I always take the first transition colour just above my crease, so we kind of create a new crease and my eyes don't look as hooded. I really like doing tutorials when everything's uniform, so the fact that my contour and my transition colours on my eyes match, I love. Next, I'm going to take the contour pan in 04 and take that on a Zoeva 227 brush. So I'm just taking that slightly lower than our first transition colour and putting it in the crease as well. I have to apologise, my lighting's playing games with me today, but just ignore it. But the reason I create a new crease is because if I look straight at you, because of my hooded eyes, you can hardly see my lid on this side. So when I'm applying like glitters, like I mostly do on my lid, you can't see them at all. So if I create a new crease, it gives me more room to play with the glitter that I'm going to put on my lid, and you guys can actually see it rather than just wasting my time. And going back in with the original brush we used for the first transition shade, I'm just going to blend that all together. So now we've finished off with the crease, we're going to go back into the MUA Rusted Wonders palette. I think for the lid I'm going to take this shade just here. I think this is where my dupes come in, because I feel like I have a few shades in more expensive palettes or more expensive like single pan shades. So I'm just going to take that on my middle finger, and that is the shade there. So if I go into my Z palette, I have this shade here, which is the Makeup Geek Shimmer Shimmer, and I'm also going to take that on my index finger. And then lastly I'm going to go into my Morphe 35O. Now this isn't an expensive palette, but it's really hard to get your hands on, so that is why I'm mentioning this. And I'm going to take that on my ring finger. And then I'm going to go into my Naked palette, and I'm going to take the shade Sin, which as you can see I've hit pan on because it's a much loved colour. So that's what I thought. These are very, very similar shades. So this one here was the Makeup Geek Shimmer Shimmer. This one here was from the MUA Rusted Wonders palette. This was from my Morphe 35O, and that's actually quite a bit pinker, but they're still on the same colour spectrum. And this one here was from the Naked Original and is the colour Sin. I think those are amazing dupes. So there we go. If you like those kind of pinky, champagne-y toned colours, then this will be right up your street. I hope that was helpful. Or you might just be like, Sammy, you just rambled for no reason and nobody cares. Probably the latter, but anyway. So to apply this shadow, I'm just going to take my Real Technique oval shadow brush and just go ham, because this is beautiful and I want it to be packed on. Okay, right, so with a brush, not that much pigment comes off. I mean, it's not bad, I just kind of, from the swatch I expected a bit more. So I'm just going to go in with my finger. Yes, that is a lot better. That's stunning. And obviously making sure to blend everything together. And then I've decided I want to use another product, which is also Drugstore and also incredible. And it's this eyeshadow matte in the shade 03 by Freedom. And this is only £2. So again, super, super affordable. And it is the most amazing black. It's really comparable to the Makeup Geek Corrupt shade. And they're basically the same pan size, but this one's about £4 or £5 cheaper. So I highly, highly recommend it. And I'm just going to take that on a Zoeva Luxe Petite Crease brush and just apply that to the outer corner. As you can see, it's super, super pigmented. And because these shadows are so blendable, I'm always a bit messy with how I apply it. And then I just go in with a big blending brush and just make sure it's more seamless and less slapdash. And I want it to be a little bit blacker, so I'm just going to go back in and apply a bit more. So all I'm going to do is take the first transition shade we used and also our contour shade in 03 and just lightly take that from the crease right the way up. It just helps to blend everything together really seamlessly. And then to finish off the eyes, I'm going to take the contour pan in 04 and take a Morphe 1432 brush. No, how many numbers do I want to say? I'm going to take the Morphe M432 brush. 1432, what am I on about? And then I'm just going to run this along the lower lash line. If you're like me and kind of like a blown out, like smoky lower lash line, then you can bring this down quite far. And then I'm also just going to take the tiniest, tiniest bit of the black as well and just put that right on the outer part of the lower lash line. Especially if you want to keep this like look more like everyday wearable, just take the tiniest bit. I'm going to take a Real Technique base shadow brush and just blend all those shades together. This has nothing on it, but it really helps just blend that black and the contour shade all together. And then I'm going to go back into the Rusted Wonders palette, take the shade we use for our highlight, put that on the inner corner of my eye and also under the brow. Actually, on reflection, I probably wouldn't take that under the brow as well. I'd go for a like matte white shadow instead, because I feel like we've got so much going on the eyes, like sparkly wise. I feel like it's just a bit too much, but I'm loving it on the inner corners. Love it. I'm just going to dip back into our lid shade and literally just apply that right at the very front, because I feel like with all that blending we lost a bit of that and then taking the brush we used the black shade with nothing else on it and blending it all together. So that is the finished eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and apply some mascara. So I'm going to move on to my lips, and for lips I'm going to take the MUA lipstick, and this is in the shade 14 Bear, and this again was £1. Oh, and it actually matches, that's the blush, it matches the blush pretty nicely. You know what I said, I love things to be uniformed. So I'm not going to take a lip liner because, I'm going to be honest, I've got to get one. I think it's like the satin finish and it feels really nice. It hasn't got the most amazing pigmentation, I'm having to go over it a few times, but I mean it is £1 and it still works really nicely. By all means you can leave it there and that would be a super affordable look. A little more higher end for Drugstore. I think this was $5.99 or $4.99. And this is the L'Oreal Dazzle Gloss in 210 Disco Ball. And I'm just going to apply that on top, just to be a little bit extra. Oh my gosh. This smells like those Body Shop buttercreams everyone used to have when I was about 13. I really like that combination paired together. That's really pretty. And there we go guys, that is the finished makeup tutorial / first impressions. So let's add up the price of the whole makeup look. So the two contour pans we obviously used to contour and for our transition colours were £3 each. The black eyeshadow we used on the outer V was £2. The lipstick we used was £1. The Dazzle Gloss, which was completely optional and you probably didn't need, but I just wanted a little bit more on my lips, was £4.99. The Rusted Wonders palette, which I highly rate, was £3. And lastly, the blush in Cupcake was £1. So I really hope you like how this look turned out, and I really hope you enjoyed the fact it was super affordable at Drugstore price. So I believe all those products are available internationally. I will leave everything listed down in the description box down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you check out my recent giveaway videos and also click my face to subscribe, and I will see you very soon. Bye!